spring chick, and if it looks a little bit damp, maybe because it's nice and white and foggy, not froggy. But you know, for this Cyber Monday, we'll see what's just happened, and we'll see the results, because Black Friday, maybe Friday was great, but the whole weekend, well, that's a different story. But not to put a damper on things, because wait till you see Oldecam. It's a little bit moist out here. But for now, we'll bring Oldecam on for comments on the headlines. Yeah, so you think you should have worn green?
Well, yeah, because it is a little foggy. Actually, the sun is starting to vanish again on us.
Global terrorist crisis overblown. Obama supporters dare to say so.
Well, they said that they can talk to these people again. I mean, that's their answer. You're going to see a brand new way of doing things under Obama. He is going to talk to all the terrorists in the world.
Could you imagine how things might have been in Mumbai if they talked to them?
Yeah, there would have basically, they'd have probably been let to go back to Pakistan with Obama doing the talking. You know, kill 175 people and then just leave.
Oh.
Well, you don't want the people, remember, under Obama and the Democratic Party, the terrorists are the true victims, not the people.
That's right, because he probably had bad parents and upbringing.
Yeah. No, the United States is responsible for him being terrorists.
High-paid executives and its UAW employees as out of touch with reality.
Yeah, you know, the UAW employees are wanting wage increases, not pay cuts, and the people up at the top basically won't stop spending money.
Greatest Black Friday ever, an 18% increase in sales over 2006?
Yeah.
Isn't this 2008?
I know, but okay, they wanted to get that 18%. Unfortunately, Saturday and Sunday tanked and made it the worst Thanksgiving weekend ever for sales.
I know. Somalia's lawlessness may be attraction for terrorist groups.
Well, because they know the United States is not going to do anything, and the UN has already said there's too much coastline to protect, so it's going to be a safe haven for all the terrorists in the world very shortly.
That's bad.
Russians today just paid to get a tanker out of Bakhmut.
They did?
That's right, because the Russians are going broke because of the oil problems.
Well, you know, that just means there's going to probably be more payoffs.
Yeah, lots more.
Top executives of big three automakers to unveil the bailout plan.
Yeah, okay. Basically, all they did was they went and got a piece of business management software, had somebody run up a business plan, and then they're going to hand it over. They're going to get the money. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, okay, yesterday, I love this one. Yesterday, I got chastised by a UAW worker that he said that if you don't give us that money, all hell is going to be raised in this country and you'll regret it.
Boy, they're starting to sound some other minorities.
Yeah, isn't that something? Give us the money. That's, I mean,
yeah.
I told you it was a bailout for the union.
Obama supporters. Bush was solely responsible for the attack in India.
I know that if Bush had never been, the world would be a safe place. There'd have been no 9/11. Oh, but then Bush hadn't actually done anything until 9/11, so wasn't that Clinton's fault then?
Oh, I think they forgot about that.
Yeah.
News to no one. Banks to cut back on lending.
Isn't that, you know,
I know.
FBS has been telling you guys about this. Everybody in the whole country had this weird idea that they were going to loosen the lending practices. No, they said they're going to cut back by $2 trillion this holiday season of making loans.
I know, it's just when they need it in the economy, they're cutting back.
Well, because
they already got their money.
Okay, they know Pelosi and Reid are going to try all of these people in the court if they can do it, so you're not going to make loans knowing that if you make a bad loan, they're going to jail you.
U.S. stock market down, even though sales at greatest levels ever.
Yeah, okay. They had the greatest Friday ever for home sales, for consumer electronics. I mean, it was just the greatest Friday. But then again, does anybody think that the people that report these sales figures may be giving you a lot of?
Yeah, and back on that lending part, you can still write your congressman and tell them how much of BS you think it is.
It doesn't going to make any difference because they're going to have a new stimulus plan in effect for $700 billion.
Bad. So, Space Shuttle Endeavour finishes 16-day mission.
Yeah, but they're missing a toolkit.
Pilgrim's Pride now going under.
Yep, they're filing for protection under the bankruptcy law. I mean, you like their bakery products? Don't expect to see that much longer either.
Food Crunch opens doors to bioengineered crops.
Yeah, that is the one thing that the Democrats are getting leaned on also about the bioengineering is only meant to increase the amount of food that you can grow, but unfortunately it also has this habit of giving little 10-year-olds, Playboy bodies.
Say that again?
It's got the bad products. Okay, they're drinking milk right now that have been from bioengineered cows, and they're basically blaming the milk and stuff they're giving for little girls looking like they belong in Playboy at 10. Haven't you
Oh.
seen, these 6-foot Amazons that are like 11, 12?
Oh gosh. Pipelines race, and they thought it was McDonald's
Yeah.
and fast food. Pipelines race out of the mountains into yards.
But yeah, they're basically using the legal system, the environment. I love this. The people that are demanding we get off of fuel are basically trampling over people's property rights to put pipelines in for natural gas. So much for environmentalists, and they don't seem to be working too well with the people that want alternate fuel sources.
Obama turns to friends and foes for top posts.
Yeah, mostly everybody he owes something to, and the foes all want the same thing he does, so what's the big deal?
That one wasn't that far from us, but we still couldn't see it.
I know, it was hugging here so we could see the ground.
Obama supporters seek to remove term limits in Constitution.
Yeah, well, because, at least he's going to do something that Cesar Chavez can't do. Because his...
You mean Hugo Chavez?
Yeah, Hugo Chavez, because he's basically planning to be president for life because he is the greatest president we've ever had now. Remember, there is a campaign to remove one of the heads on Mount Rushmore.
That's true. Muslims, and the reason why they want to do that is because Obama's a figurehead and the other people want to be controlled.
That's right.
Muslims condemn Mumbai attacks, worry about image. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give a, basically,
Yeah, like
this
really...
is what he thinks about that.
Mumbai cop left for dead, rides with gunmen.
Yeah, I mean, they're hauling around a couple of cops in the back that they didn't know were alive, which basically we can say these guys are thorough murderers. They think they were military personnel. So you guess that cop in the back, they didn't know that cop was alive. Anybody want to check out that cop?
Students lie, cheat, and steal, but say if it's all right for elected officials, then why is it wrong if they do it?
I know, that's...
Ooh, that's a backlash you didn't think about.
I know, isn't that something? It's just, this is what we're turning our country into. They figure it's acceptable to do anything. Whatever needs to be done to accomplish what you want. Of course, I used to do that though, didn't I? So, I used to work in that business.
Is gay the new black? Marriage ban spurs civil rights debate.
Okay, the people that handle the civil rights movement will flat out tell you, I can't help my mother's an Indian. You can't help that your heritage is Asian. They don't have to be gay. It is not being born with a problem. You are basically choosing a lifestyle. It has nothing to do with civil rights.
Chambliss to lose seat even if he wins by Senate rule, as will Coleman.
Oh, that's right. Reid said the other day that there's a possibility the United States Senate may have to step in if the proper actions are not taken in Minnesota and Georgia, meaning that they can declare a candidate unacceptable to hold office and then appoint someone else to do it.
Which means they can get to their 60 vote limit.
That's right.
That's pretty bad.
I know, they're going to run the country no matter what.
That's worthy of discussing more. Chris Matthews, Jane Fonda, Rosie O'Donnell, Martin Sheen, George Clooney, Alec Baldwin, among those 20-plus Democrats declared winners of all Republican Senate seats up for election in 2010.
Well, that's right. I mean, since elections are no longer relevant, the Democratic Party is already preparing for those individuals to take, well, they don't even have to live in the area to run there, so.
Just like Al Franken.
Yeah.
The New York Times editorial board today endorsed an investigation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, because they simply advised their people to support things on gay, the gay marriage ban. But basically, it is a religious principle, and they have a right to speak up on religious principle, regardless of what the Democratic Party thinks. It is in the Constitution. Freedom of religion.
What is the New York Times? A Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
One might think that if you join the military, you might have to use a weapon and get shot at.